on, all you Baker Mayfield fans out there. I am Snickers. This is Snick Snack Sports, bringing you the Mansfield Penn State Fantasy Football League podcast. How are you doing today, Nate?
Doing great, Nick. How are you this evening?
I am doing exceptionally well.
We got a special episode for you all. It's the first week of the fantasy football playoffs. We have all four of this week's contestants here with us on the show today. We'll be doing some extra bets, show you our brackets, who do we think is going to win, who do we think is going to fall out in the first round. Let's get right to it. We got a lot for you tonight. So, Nick, first, let's recap on our bet last week. What happened?
Yeah, last week you had picked Justin Herbert to throw it down on the Dolphins, which he did, only scoring 20 points, though. And I had picked Joey Burrow to be the king of the state of Ohio against the Cleveland Browns, and he put up 16 points with an interception there. So Herbert did win. You did get the bet. You're up 9-4 right now.
Yeah, things are looking slim for you, but we did some math before the show, and you still very much have it. There's 3 more bets plus 6 more points on the table for the bracket. That's a 9 points. You're 5 behind right now. Very attainable. And this week, we were just talking about our bets and decided to go for some of the desperation plays we were seeing in some of those playoff teams. Who are you picking, Nick?
Yeah, there's a couple guys that don't sound like they're super intimidating, but I'm looking at Elijah Moore on the New York Jets, who's on Kyle's team. He's playing at flex right now. Yeah, I think that he will be able to score a lot of points against the Detroit Lions this week. Maybe even get a touchdown. That would help out a lot.
Yeah, Elijah Moore's been a bit absent, but I understand that he's a little more in the favor of Mike White, so not a bad pick. I was looking at Matt's roster on the other side of that matchup, and he has at tight end Chig Okonkwo, who is generating some chatter. Hasn't done much this year, but he's a rookie, and he seems to be emerging. I think he's going to beat Elijah Moore this week. Has the touchdown opportunity for sure on that team. I think he got one last week. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, the touchdown threat's the only thing I'm really worried about with him. But yeah, we'll see. I think Moore's going to get probably 8 for 90 and hopefully a touchdown there.
Yeah. Now let's take a quick look at at our bracket this week. Let's see. We have Katie got the bye along with Kyler, 10-4, 9-5 respectively, and so we do have Matt playing Kyle in one matchup. We'll have them on first. And then we also have Shane playing Ducky in the second matchup. Meanwhile, for those of you who missed the text chain, Matt, our commissioner, instituted a rule, which I think is a good one, that will be incentivizing some good toilet bowl play this year. That the place that you finish in the league overall is we'll select in that order for which spot we want in the first round of the draft. So I think inevitably the last place team here is probably going to get the 12th pick. I had the 12th pick last year. It's not the worst thing in the world, but I mean, maybe they get the first pick. Who knows? Some undesirable pick. But so me and Kenny have the bye in that bracket. And meanwhile, Snickers, you're playing Carson. Nick Adams is playing John. And that bracket's a little more creative, but we'll keep you up to date each week. So yeah, just to briefly share how things panned out here. Katie did lose. It didn't matter. Let's see. The Olive Man came out on top, which meant that he could not be kicked out of the playoffs. He had Miles Sanders really come through for him and Justin Jefferson. So that was big for him. And
yeah, what I'm kind of disappointed in is Kenny against Katie. He didn't think he'd be able to win that matchup if he tried a little harder against Ducky and won that one and then beat Katie. Probably would be in right now, but that's unfortunate.
Yeah, he came up big, but it didn't matter. I mean, he gets the bye, I guess, in the toilet bowl, so he still is in this position for a mediocre pick. But meanwhile, Shane lost only 80 points, and Kyler also lost, but because he outscored Shane, he got the bye over Shane. It's probably actually a significant margin, and that's what got us to today.
Yeah, they're both resting their players, but luckily, seems like Kyler was able to pull it through there.
Yeah, and Matt's beat him, so they tied up their records. Didn't matter. Carson has way more points than Matt does in the standings. So because the tiebreaker is points for, that means that and Matt has by far the fewest points for in the playoffs right now. He's not passing anyone with the same record, and we'll talk about whether we think of that coming up in the playoffs. Because right now we're going to fill out our brackets live. We're going to be taking turns making picks. We're not going to share any of the same picks. Have a homemade bracket coming at you here. So first up, I'm going to be picking this Matt versus Kyle game. And unsurprisingly, to many of you who are just listening, I'm going to be picking Kyle to take that first game.
Ooh.
Lower seed. So Snickers, that means that you are stuck with Matt.
That's true. And I like Kyle's team a lot. But yeah, Matt is definitely strong in a lot of areas, especially receiver. And I think that he will be able to beat his wife in the first round, hopefully. Let's see if it goes that way.
Interesting. Yeah. Who are you taking in game 2?
In the Shane Ducky matchup, it's very interesting. Obviously, Shane's been pretty hot all year. He's kind of on the downturn coming into the playoffs here, resting his players. Ducky is hot, hot, hot. And looking at their rosters, I think I have to go with Ducky to come out with the win. Very small win here, but I think he's going to be able to go into Kyler the next round.
Interesting. So we both have very little faith in the top seeds. And so that means that I'll be taking Shane. I'm not too upset with that. Shane was on a streak of, I think, 8 wins in a row this year. He did lose the last week. I don't know if he had actually lost before last week.
I think it was 2 out of the last 3. I think he lost.
2 out of last week. So it got a little colder. But as far as teams I'm afraid of this year, Shane was maybe one of the ones I was most consistently impressed with. Some of the other teams had a lot of hot and coldness and had some lucky wins. So then I'm choosing the Katie Kyle matchup. This is tough for me because Katie was so dominant, but the second I choose her to do anything, she starts falling apart. I think she lost the last 2. However, Kyle is so reliant on the Bills. I actually don't remember the Bills matchup next week.
The Dolphins Saturday night.
But that's this week.
Oh, next week, yeah. That's a good question.
But I'm gonna, instead of making us all wait while I look that up, I'm just gonna go Katie here, I believe, which might answer your question because then by the rules we decided in advance of this, I think that means you have to choose Matt. Is that how you interpreted that?
Yeah, I think it's a good point there. If I'm allowed to choose Katie or not, I think we should be able to.
Okay, I'll let you make whatever choice you want.
Yeah, I think it's still a chance that we end up with different finals here. But Matt against Katie, Matt was very consistent all year long. Has the good receivers, not great running backs. Katie has very good receivers as well. I again think it's going to be close, but I think Katie's going to win by about 6 or 7 points.
No, I will say, Nick, that I think it's only to my advantage if you choose Katie, because if you're trying to maximize your points over me and Katie does win that matchup, we end up both getting a point.
That's true. That's true. That's true. But yeah, I have to get that in order to get her into my finals here.
That's true. That's because that's where the 2 points come in. So you're going Katie still?
Yeah.
All right. And then who are you taking in your bottom matchup?
Ducky against Kyler. I mean, Ducky's definitely hot, like I'm saying here. Kyler's team is very interesting. 3 tight ends, 2 kickers, but has been working out for him all year long. I really have to say that Kyler's probably going to win. I'm staring at this 6, and I know Ducky's coming in a little late, coming in hot, but I think that Ducky's end probably runs.
All right. So in your matchup, the 1-2s ultimately prevail.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to be a little bit contrarian, which may actually be to your benefit, but I am taking Shane in that one. Kyler just doesn't seem that scary to me. He can defend himself next week if he comes on the show, but yeah, I think Shane is the winner in that matchup, even though Kyler did beat him in what was virtually a head-to-head last week. And then I get to pick my final winner. It's Katie versus Shane, which is kind of the rivalry from last year. I like it. I hate to give it to my rival in Shane, But you know what? I'm gonna do it though, just to keep things interesting. I'm gonna give it to the 3 seed Shane over Katie. I think. Oops, I wrote the wrong name.
You subconsciously can't pick Shane.
That's right. What about you, Nick?
It's interesting because I was thinking of possibly picking Kyler in this matchup, cousin on cousin here. It would be very interesting. I think Shane's a better matchup for Kyler in the semifinals, like you had there. But I think Kyler can beat just about anyone in cornhole. I think Katie's probably going to come full circle and beat Kyler in the finals here. She won in the first year that we were in the league together, and she hasn't been very dominant since then. So I think Katie is going to ride the season. I hate to pick the 1 seed for whatever reason, but I think she's going to kill it.
All right. Yeah. I mean, Katie's win, now to note, was not part of our official league history. It was pre the current form of the league. Tyler, meanwhile, has won twice in the current form of the league. So that is, I am happy with that pick too. I'd prefer to see Katie win over Kyler getting smug with 3 victories.
Yeah, that's might be subconscious in my mind too, not letting Kyler pass me, getting the 3 victories there.
All righty. So now some quick news to share with us, Snickers, before we have our guests.
Yeah, if you guys saw Thursday Night Football last week, right after our show finished up, Baker Mayfield came back with less than 2 minutes to go, 98 yards, and won the game. It was incredible, even though he doesn't like wearing the number 19. So I think that was extremely important game of the week. Another game of the week, Mr. Irrelevant Brock Purdy came in and blew the pants off the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady. Last pick in the draft this year, and he won his first career start. Speaking of first career catches, Jameson Williams on the Detroit Lions' first catch was a touchdown, 40 yards last week, and he did very well against the Vikings. A couple injuries to talk about real quick. The Kyler Murray tore his ACL Monday night. He's out for the season. That kind of stinks for him. Colt McCoy is going to be the starter the rest of the year here. The Texans, Dameon Pierce, looks like he's going to be out for 1 or 2 weeks with an injury. And in order to fix that problem, the Texans cut Benjamin. So that makes sense. Couple of big signings. Cowboys signed a big receiver. Did not sign Odell Beckham Jr. They signed T.Y. Hilton. I think he's going to be doing his good T.Y. Hilton dance in the end zone this week for the Cowboys. And Cole Beasley signed with the Buccaneers, retired, made an album, came back and signed with the Bills this week. It's big news. Brett Kern got cut before the year started with the Tennessee Titans. He is signing with the Super Bowl favorite, Philadelphia Eagles, right now. So that's the news for the week, Nate. Back to you.
All right. Now we'll have our guests on in just a moment. Let's get into the playoff prediction. All right, we're going to have on in just a moment Kyle and Matt. Before we do, we have a quick word from today's sponsor.
In a world filled with crime, give me your lunch money. That's all I had. There's only one man for the job. Did somebody call the Olive Man? Oh no, not the Olive Man. That's right, you better run. Wow, thanks, Olive Man. Anytime, kid. Coming December 17th, the Olive Man versus the world.
Look at that. Ducky's doing some promotion before his big appearance on the show. Like it. But let's welcome on Matt and Kyle. All right, Matt and Kyle, welcome to the show. We just did our brackets. We each made our selections. We ended up on opposite sides for you guys. But we're here to have you make the case for why you're destined to be the victors this week and maybe further.
Yeah, Matt, we'll start with you. I picked you as the big winner this week. I think that your receivers are going to come through against Kyle's backup running backs here. How are you going to be able to get out the W here?
I think all the proof I need is Nate did not pick me. That's all the proof I need.
Yeah, we'll see a little bit later how your wife fares with Nate's picks. But
No, but like right in seriousness, right? My team hinges on a weather situation in Buffalo. I hope there's a freaking blizzard, man. Josh Allen can't throw the ball. Stephon Diggs can't catch the ball. That's all the hope I have.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty close matchup here, and we see that ESPN has provided us with your previous matchup, and you actually trounced Kyle back in week 11. That was kind of at the pit of your despair, I think. Kyle, I might have had you on the show that week.
I don't know. But no, yeah, I feel bad. I feel like both times I've been on here, I've kind of like crapped on my team. When like in reality, it's been like a good season. I like my team. It's a good team, but yeah, I'm definitely like I'm scared. Like I was watching that Buffalo Jets game last week, and it was like raining sideways, and it turned into snow, and like nobody could do anything. So if it's the same thing up there again this week, and that's like my three best players all affected, then you got freaking Miami. Heard a story they were bringing like heaters to the Los Angeles game when it's like 55 degrees. So I don't think they're going to be able to handle the 15-degree Buffalo lake effect storm. So not looking too good. Not looking too pretty. Won't lie to you. Okay, so Nate pick me.
Worse for Josh Allen than for Stephon Diggs, because Josh Allen could still run for like 4 touchdowns in that.
That's true. I feel like last week watching that game, they were letting him run a little bit more, which is nice because I'm probably going to need it. And we'll see if Goddard's back from IR. I think they activated him, so see if he's going to play. But other than that, yeah, you need your stars to show up, and I don't know if mine are going to have the ability to.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be very interesting. One interesting thing me and Nate just did before you guys came on was made our weekly bet. And we both picked from you guys' matchup on some reaches that you guys are hoping are able to score enough points. I actually went to Kyle's side and thought Elijah Moore was going to outscore Chigakonkwo on Matt's side. What do you guys think about those two players in particular? And the same with Dara Agamawale.
Well, if the other guy, who's the other guy Corey Davis, if he's back for the Jets, I don't know if Elijah Moore is going to be in my lineup, but yeah, I guess with losing Pierce, I don't know, just took a dart throw on the backup, see if he can do something. But I guess moving back to more though, if Corey Davis is gone, then I think he can, play in Detroit, awful defense. If he's sort of the second guy there, then yeah, maybe he can put up 10 points, catch a touchdown, do something.
Yeah, Kyle, do you have that other wide receiver from the Jets on your team? I'm not seeing him.
No, I don't. I know he's been out the past couple of games, and Elijah Moore's been seeing a little bit more targets, more opportunities. So hope that can continue.
Yeah,
I just want to tight end to score points. That's all I need. I've been winning games all year with one player in my lineup, active, score 0 points. All year. It's happened. And, 100 points has been it for me. Snickers is the only person to beat me when I score over 100 points. I unfortunately need all my players to freaking score to get 100 points.
Yeah, we were actually giving you a little bit of shit before the show, Matt, because I believe you have by far the lowest points for in the playoffs right now, which has to give you a little bit of confidence, Kyle. How are you going to not let that be the story for your playoffs, Matt?
100 points. Every game I lose, I score under 100 points, except for Snickers 2 weeks ago. Right? I can score 60 points. I can score 130 points. We'll see what happens this week.
So you don't think you'll be able to hold Kyle to 99 points here?
What Kyle does is what Kyle does. I'm not confident that I can make the right decisions. I think the running backs are up for debate for me. I'm not confident in Zeke. I'm very confident in Pacheco. I have an inkling on Cam Akers with a really good matchup. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's starting to look like that trade for Zeke saved your season.
Yeah, it did, right? And I knew giving up Ayuk was tough on the wide receivers, right? And that's why I went out and got Treylon Burks and Van Jefferson for probably more than I should have. But I won with those two wide receivers minus Jamar Chase minus Cooper Kupp with those two receivers, right? So I think if Jerry Jeudy can get a couple touchdowns, I'm fine, but I really need the tight end to score. And I think the Pacheco pickup was actually a bigger deal than getting Zeke.
I mean, that could be. He has emerged, and I really didn't think he would. We'll see if Agumbawale can do the same magic for you, Kyle. I know that's probably one of the biggest reaches that we're seeing in this playoffs so far. But
there's no other running backs on the waiver. What scares me the most too is that Matt, he's got all the momentum. He just knocked Shane off in drunk league, gave him his first loss. So that's scary. Don't know how he did
all the
it.
counts.
He did it.
No, that was certainly impressive. And for those who have not been following the drunk league, that Shannon was a prodigious year. It didn't seem like anyone was going to take him out. So I have to congratulate you on that, Matt. I think we all appreciate it.
Can't make us
on their
finally play the
undefeated
game.
seasons. The 72 Dolphins and sleep easy this weekend.
Any other thoughts on why your opponent here should be terrified, gentlemen?
Weather.
I think that is the key theme for you, Kyle.
I will feel much better or worse Saturday at like 8:30 at night. Right. I think Kyle has the edge just based on star power.
See Thursday too. Like if Seattle goes up and hangs like 40 points on the 49ers and I get like negative, then it's going to be a long week.
Yeah, and if Seattle can drive into field goal range and not finish, right? I don't care if Kyle's defense gets 7 points. I have a defensive issue this week too, where I have a lot of good defensive matchups, right? Raiders against the abysmal Patriots, the Commanders against the Giants, 2 good defensive matchups there. But I think if Myers can get some points and outscore the Niners defense, I'm more concerned about what happens in Buffalo on Saturday. I think that weather is going to decide this matchup.
For sure. Can't argue with that. Now, good luck to you both. We have the next matchup on in just a moment here, but thanks for joining us today.
Oh yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, Team Berluti.
Yeah, I got you, Kyle. Don't disappoint me.
Team Fufu.
All right, see you guys.
See ya.
Yep.
All right, now please welcome our second matchup of the playoffs. We have Ducky, we have Shane. You two, we just had Kyle on and Matt. I'm on the team Kyle side there. We just filled our brackets earlier in the episode. And meanwhile, Snickers has chosen Matt. And we also landed on you two. So, yeah, we're looking forward to hearing why you think that you are going to dominate. As a quick aside, Ducky, we also heard your ad just a second ago and really excited for the things you're trying to do for the community.
The Olive Man is known for his community service.
Yeah, and his kind of sensual way of sharing it.
Well, the Olive Man has his ways.
When you have it, right?
Exactly. Thank you.
Can't just put it away.
All right. Yeah, speaking of that here, Ducky, in this matchup, I have you actually as the winner here, even though you're the 6th seed. Shane's good for all season, but he's coming in a little dry. I think you're going to be able to splash him out of the pool here.
Yeah, it should be a pretty quick game.
Why is that?
I mean, look at the matchups. I mean, the last time that we faced off, it was kind of like he had Dalvin Cook go. I had Justin Jefferson, and Justin Jefferson got all the points.
Apparently, this is a based on the
No, Ducky, we're getting some audio, I think, from here. We're hearing Matt still.
Huh?
We're still hearing Matt talking.
Okay, well, we'll adjust that.
But while you're figuring that out, Shane, I guess why don't you go? I actually do have you on the as the pick, believe it or not. If you look at the show, see, I actually have you winning the whole thing, so you can let your ego soak that up for a second. But I mean, we look back your previous matchups. You won the first one in week 1. Ducky won the second one in week 12. Why are you going to be victorious here as I project?
I guess I can go back to what I said originally when I was first on, that ESPN had me as was it last place or second to last? And I figured, well, if they have me last, then I'm going to come in first. So I will stick with my original projection. And plus Ducky has somebody who is shot a little while ago. I just feel like that's a bad strategy.
It's all more empowering.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the first weeks in a while, Shane, that I'm not seeing you play some rando at some important position to scrape by. It seems like you have all your team kind of firing on all cylinders here.
Yeah, Jalen Waddle's been banged up, so hopefully he can come back. Tua's been pretty bad the past couple weeks as well, so I'm a little worried about him. But everyone else, I feel like can have a bounce back week after some disappointments.
Yeah, a big part of our last conversation with Kyle and Matt was how much the weather in Buffalo is going to affect Josh Allen, Tyreek Hill, and Stephon Diggs on Kyle's team. Matt thinks there's going to be a blizzard and not be able to do anything, especially for the Miami players here. So we'll see exactly how that works out for the Waddle man.
Well, that's fine because Penguins do well in snow.
It's true.
Checks out.
But yeah, Ducky, overall, I think I like basically all your matchups better, even though the ESPN doesn't have you there. Miles Sanders been bomb.com recently. CeeDee Lamb's going up against the Jaguars, and Justin Jefferson, Chris Olave, red hot. They're great here.
No, they do this
your
every
chances?
single week. They have Justin Jefferson projected to get like 15 points, and then he goes and gets like 40. Like it's always like, oh, Justin Jefferson. I think he'll get like 16, 17 points. Like last week, I think he was projected like 14 and got me 33.
Yeah, Justin Jefferson. I know all the talk's been about Tyreek Hill breaking the receiving record this year. If Justin Jefferson can average about 110 yards a game this year, he's going to actually end up with the crown at the end of the year.
I can't imagine he's that far off. I mean, he's been like dropping like 200 frequently.
Yeah, I am looking at both your quarterback choices. I am concerned about them both, just because Justin Fields is injured and is playing Philadelphia, who's been stout. And meanwhile, I see you're going away from Geno, Shane, who's been working for you all year, to go with Daniel Jones, who's such a wild card.
Geno's got a pretty tough matchup this week, and got to go with Danny Dimes. He's got a lot to play for right now.
Playing for his second tie of the year.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott has not earned his spot in my playoff roster yet.
Yeah, he did disappoint last week, but he was playing Houston, who is actually, I think, so bad that usually quarterbacks don't have to do anything against him.
CeeDee Lamb got me like 4 points last week. I actually saw a stat that Houston has been it's something like the number 1 wide receiver defense, the number 32 wide receiver defense one time this entire year. It was week 1. Besides that, they're like top 5. I don't understand why. I don't think they have a good secondary, but like it's just wide receivers don't do anything to them.
Yeah, I've seen that same stat, like what Nate was saying. Once you get up 2 scores in the first 10 minutes, you're not going to be passing the ball too much at all. So that's why receivers and quarterbacks don't do that great against them.
But the thing was, I was watching the Dallas game. They weren't up 2 scores that frequently. They were like toe to toe for most of the game, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, last week was a big anomaly. We thought the Cowboys were going to outscore them by about 40 points, and they did not. And they came out with a
I think
dub.
the spread was 10 points, and they got like 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a narrow last-second victory, if I recall. I didn't watch the game, but I think that's what the summary said.
Yeah.
So that was embarrassing for who was about to be the Super Bowl favorites.
Yeah, but Ducky, what concerned you the most about Shane's team? And then Shane, the same question to you.
I said it the same thing the last time you asked me. I got to go with AJ Brown on this one. Barkley is Barkley. I think he's going to get 15 points. Same with Dalvin Cook, 10, 15 points. But AJ Brown, Philadelphia is such an absolute. I don't know what they're going to do each week. And they also have Devonta Smith, who could be in there. Like, it's such a wild card. AJ Brown, I think, either gets like 40 points or like 5 points.
True, and they actually have Dallas Goedert coming back this week, and he was really productive before he went out a few weeks ago. So another target to take away from AJ Brown.
That's true. I'm hoping Miles Sanders gets most of the touches.
What about you, Shane?
I'm not afraid. There's nothing.
Nothing that concerns you, not even the team's namesake, the olive man?
No, I think he just forgot to change it, and not knowing it's a taunt at me now.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Quiet, Shane. I haven't thought of a good name yet.
I assumed that I thought that was a specific dig at Shane.
No. He was on bye last week, so he was literally had a bye week, and now apparently it went over my head.
That you were just calling Shane a bye week.
Yes.
I thought that was intentional. I thought it was clever. I was going to applaud your name.
No, I've done nothing to deserve the applause.
Well, no, it's great to have you both on today. Any more thoughts to share with us before we let you go?
No, I just remember a couple of weeks ago, Shane wanted to give me Jawan Johnson, trying to sell that guy high. What's he done since then? Nothing. I think he's been
He was
injured.
on bye last week. I also tried to trade you Kittle, your boy.
Yeah, that one broke my heart to decline. Yeah.
Meanwhile, your tight end has gotten you a combined 10 points over the past like 8 weeks.
Yeah, but I went and scooped up Darren Waller, who hopefully will be back.
Yeah, I think they designated him to return.
Yeah, so he put
whether
some
he
money
plays
down
or
on
not is a
Darren
different
Waller.
story, but got to be better than Conklin. Conklin has been disappointing.
Yeah, he really done nothing on your team. He has been kind of letting you down, but you snuck in regardless. I think wins 2 weeks in a row despite playing him both times. I am going to say that in terms of the defensive battle, I envy your position, Ducky. The Cowboys have been so consistent.
I have both those guys are free agent acquisitions. Neither of them were drafted. Everyone dropped them, and then I went and picked them up.
No, that was a big miss on all of our parts. But yeah,
Although I got the defense wrong last week. I thought Cowboys against Houston was surefire, but that was.
Nope, but it will be this week. Don't worry.
Yeah, okay, buddy.
Yeah, the Chiefs are a bad defense. So they're going to destroy the Houston Texans.
Is that how it works? The good defenses get shelled by the Texans. The bad defense is demolished.
Yeah, they show up against tough competition.
Yeah, because this is the Chiefs' chance to prove that they can do something. Meanwhile, the Cowboys probably didn't even prep for that week.
The Chiefs' chance to prove they can do something. Yeah, I know. They're only 10-3 right now.
I mean, the defense that has been bad.
Have they?
Or maybe just
They've
average.
had some nice matchups, but they haven't been. They're probably below average. Yeah.
Yeah, no. That's what happens when you give a guy $500 million.
That's true. That's going to come back to bite them at some point.
I think it's actively biting them right now.
Well, they're still winning, but we'll see if they can sustain it. But it's great to have you both on. Loving hearing your ads the past couple of weeks, even though Snickers thought that you may have actually been advertising ham. And we'll best of luck to you both.
All right, thanks,
Don't
guys.
need that luck. I'm on bye week this week.
He's on bye,
Team Sylvia.
taking a rest.
Yeah, well, so we'll see you guys soon. We'll see the rest of you next week. And